Good evening, Commanders. Ian back here from Mercury Fleet Command, and we're going to do another Rapid Reinforcements 1 material Armada Fleet build. Tonight we're going to be hitting home with one of my personal loves of the game, which is running double large. And in order to run double large, I'm an Imperial at heart, so let's go ahead and do an Imperial Fleet. Previously in the videos, I've done a card-by-card reveal of how I'm going to build the fleet. Tonight, I'm literally just going to jump into it right away, try and get the meat and potatoes out. I mean, there's nothing new under the sun as far as Imperial Double Large goes. And in fact, so let's just hop straight over to it. What we're looking at here is a Kuat, a Demolisher, and a Venator. Obviously, if it's going to be Rapid Reinforcements 1, it's going to be a Venator build. So the way that I've built this out is, so we're going to start out with my personal flavor of the month favorite Kuat, which is a point defense ion cannons, reactive gunnery, flat guns, ordnance experts, APTs, and Palpatine. So the way that this operates, this is your lead ship. It's the one that you send in first. Um, it's an ISD. It can weather the hits. 90% of the time you're running straight engineering, just so that way you can shift some shields around, heal some damage as it comes in. Point defense to reduce damage coming. Reactive gunnery to dish out the rainbow back. Um, Obviously, flat guns allows you to do your black at medium range and your blue at long range when you're salvoing. Palpatine just makes them spin to hit you, and it's got great interactions with salvo. New to this list and only for this list is 7th Fleet Star Destroyer, because we're going to be running the Venator and the Venator's Star Destroyer itself. So we can reduce some incoming damage just by 1 or 2, possibly up to 5 for the game, 6 if you're unlucky. Next thing we're going to do is my personal favorite build of the Gladiator. So this is a demo with APTs, engine techs, ordnance experts, and my choice of officer is Iden Versio. Iden Versio makes this Glad last 1 to 2 turns longer than it normally would. So 1 extra turn on a Gladiator is likely the deciding factor of whether or not you killed that munificent or you killed, any one of a number of ships where it's just got an extra turn to act. And then, so this is going to be a Screed-based fleet with 3 black dice crit boats. I felt it almost entirely necessary to run Screed. And then the other thing to think about is I'm building this in the current meta where I'm dealing against, Galactic Republic Tranquility. So Galactic Republic Tranquility is going to try and take your black dice out as much as possible, try and keep those APTs from happening as much as possible. So my Gladiator is going to be the one that I'm going to be running against the Tranquility boat. And like it or not, I actually try and aim for that Tranquility boat because it tends to be a morale drop for my opponent once that boat drops. Okay, so let's focus more on this Venator since he's the hero of the build. The name of the build is to the teeth because you're armed to the teeth. I forgot to cover that. I normally cover it at the start. So we're going to be running Nita, and I'm going to be swapping out my contain for an evade, so that way I can trigger TRCs. TRCs level out and do consistent damage. Here's that 7th Fleet Star Destroyer again. We've got a pretty standard ordnance experts running APTs and expanded launchers to make that 8 dice out the front, and it's a mean 8 dice on top of that. So you're screaming in pointy ends forward at your enemy, trying to just bum rush, a smaller medium ship, knock it out, swing that momentum forward, and keep going. What I do throw on here is this my personal flair is reinforced blast doors to help keep your flagship, alive a little longer. 3 damage taken off in the middle of the game is it's kind of swingy. It's fantastic. All right, so we've covered the Kuat, we covered the Gladiator, we've looked at the Venator. It's pretty standard build out. You'll notice that each of the ships has used all of their upgrades, and we still have a 7-point bid. It's a pretty good seat to be sitting in. So let's take a look at our objectives. So we're going to run advanced gunnery. Nobody in their right mind is going to give you advanced gunnery. That would just be a Venator that would be snacking down on them with 2 attacks out that front, level anything. Contested outpost, pretty no-brainer. Just go ahead and sit 3 black dice boats right in front of right in front of the station, and wait for them to come to you. Solar Corona, they get to deploy everything first. You react, and then you can also force them to lose their accuracies against you, allowing you to get your native salvo here, always get your brace, that sort of thing. It's a pretty standard suite. I think most of the time you'll end up playing Contested Outpost. The deployment advantage presented by Solar Corona is not something somebody wants to deal with when they have to go against double large. Other than that, like I said, it's a pretty straightforward build. I'm happy to jump into Imperials. I've got about another month left on my sabbatical, and as soon as I'm back from my sabbatical, I've already 3D printed a Venator Star Destroyer. I am ready to rock and roll. I will be flying this fleet. It's been sitting in my back pocket since they announced the Venator, and I'm ready to get to it. Other than that, guys, I want you to have fun and fly casual.